What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Good evening. Um, if true, this is infuriating. I just came across this by accident. I was on the phone with my best friend Joseph in Florida, and he was telling me about some new show. And I went to YouTube and I saw some headline on a video saying Kyle Rittenhouse picks his own jury. And this is as far as I've gotten, is what you see on the screen. I don't know anything. And we're gonna find out what the context is. But before I even say that, I want to say that I've already said to you that, in fact, we're gonna discuss this in the live stream that I'm hoping to get, hopefully Friday at the very latest when I come in from the mosque. Inshallah, we'll see. Or maybe before. I don't know. Um, I've got a photo shoot I'm doing. I've got 3 movies I'm scheduled to shoot. I'm doing a talk show. I've got a world tour that I'm planning. I'm busy. All right. Janet and I are celebrating our anniversary. I mean, there's some things that I can't get into. All right. So just settle down. Anyway, um, I believe the fix is in. I'm expecting a hung jury or a not guilty. We've already seen that they deliberately got rid of all potential black jurors at the beginning. They claim there's one. We ain't seen them. I don't know if it's a male or female. And I suggest that they're just only African in color, and that's it. Because we know all skin folk are not kinfolk. You understand? And there's been some things going on in the courtroom that I think give credence to my speculation. Among them is the behavior of this judge who seems to be all over the place. He doesn't seem astute, and his demeanor is not that of a judge, certainly one in a high profile case that's being televised. There's usually a different decorum, more serious, more stern, definitely a command of the law as it relates to the rulings and arguments that the attorneys are bringing and things like that. He seems to be like a character, really. I can't with him already. I can't. And so some of his rulings, the things that he has, objections that he has sustained, others that he's overruled, I think he's just your regular run-of-the-mill white devil, racist demon, you know masquerading. I always tell you, they always put on as if it's all civil. It's all civil. This is all very, legitimate and all that. When it's just a damn crime happening in front of your damn face, you know. But just because they're doing it or saying it, it's supposed to be legitimate, and we reject that. We reject it, and I think this is just more of that. Some of the demeanor of this Rittenhouse little fucker. He doesn't seem like someone who he seems like he's been assured that everything's fine. I wish I was on camera because you guys know I channel people when I talk about them. And so the whole blowing and the trying to cry looked I mean, that I'm sure at least 10 people went to the hospital that day just from seeing his face. I'd like to know the stats on that. And I was like, I can't. I can't. Where is the crossbow when you need it? Hand signals from him as well. That you wouldn't expect from a 18-year-old, and that don't seem uh, like a natural involuntary body movement. The way he does it, it locks his fingers together and then his thumbs. It's very, I can't. His lawyers are just racist, white, lynching devils in suits. Good old boys. And I mean that in the worst sense. And to be an insult. But they are just trash dressed up in suits. Their whole demeanor is very, there would be more to say if those were black lawyers. This is a circus. Because remember, it's always us and them. So Chauvin gets convicted. They see that as a win for us. And righteousness and justice is not even their concern. Everything is a contest with these people. What happened to the other defendants that were with Chauvin? Whatever happened to those trials? Where are they? What happened? Is there going to, I don't have television, so I don't know what's going on. But either way, that's a win. Now you have the Ahmaud Arbery case going on at the same time as this. This should be 3 wins for African people, and they can't allow that. They can't allow that. And I noticed that the coverage on this is different than the Ahmaud Arbery. They're not showing the graphic stuff in the Ahmaud Arbery case, but in this one, they're showing it all. You see what I'm saying? There's always a double standard with white people. And that double standard always means what is in their favor. What's in their favor. Just the fact that he's not being brought in, a jumpsuit and handcuffs every day. He's being allowed to move around the courtroom in a way that we've not seen from defendants. He's looking back at the gallery at people, and it's not a problem. Sheriffs are not standing right next to him at all times when his attorneys aren't near him. And, there's just a level of free movement that is not typical in a courtroom, certainly in a case where the defendant is being charged for murder and manslaughter and shit. Like, I can't with it. And I even was very concerned with some of the language by the prosecutors. It seems to me they want to appear to be prosecuting, but definitely giving the jury some things that they can use to say not guilty. I'm over it, dude. And now this. So, judge lets Kyle Rittenhouse pick his own jury. Which one do I want to pick? I don't know. Well, let's see what's here. CT, Rittenhouse case, jury hands as deliberation. Okay. How the Rittenhouse jury was narrowed. This is NBC News. Rittenhouse conducts random draw. That's NBC News. We got NBC Chicago, Yahoo, Newsweek, Rolling Stone. Judge says he let Rittenhouse randomly select jurors out of a tumbler so he would feel. Judge lets Kyle Rittenhouse choose raffle which jurors will decide his fate. Well, this one's from 6 hours ago. Well, here's one from 2 hours ago, but that's Yahoo, and I just hate Yahoo for some reason. A day ago, a day. So we're going to go with the 6 hours ago from Rolling Stone. Let's get that in here, if we can. Judge says he let the Rittenhouse fucker select jurors out of a tumbler so he would feel, quote, in control. Huh? Name me one black defendant in any case ever in the history of this fucking country where the judge wanted the defendant to feel in control. I'll just wait for your answer. Never. Judge Bruce racist white devil Schroeder defended his controversial decision, because remember, he defended his decision to allow an all-white jury, his controversial decision to allow the defendant, the murderer, on trial for homicide to randomly select dismissed jurors. This is meant to be a slap in our face, everybody, because this headline is not even necessary, because the attorneys could have just done it. You understand? And they normally do. So, or the judge. But to allow a active defendant, this is a slap in our face, everybody. This is white supremacy. This is white privilege. This is white evil. This is white devil. Just pick anything and put white in front of it and all things bad after it. It's a double goddammit standard. That's what it is. Let's see now. There's the peacock. Looks like a bird. Well, that's insulting to birds. So astaghfirullah for that. You know, he looks like a whistle or just something. I don't know. The lying, racist, fake judge in the murderer house trial explained his widely criticized move to allow the murdering white devil on trial for murder in connection to the killing of 2 people in Kenosha, Wisconsin, to randomly select dismissed jurors out of a tumbler. And they could have done this privately, even if they didn't have the judge or the attorneys do it. This is meant to be a slap in our face, everybody, even though nobody black was killed. You understand? Nobody black was involved in this whole thing. So we ask the glorious question that comes out of the mouth of children: why? 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 Because it's us and them. And this little fucker has the same demeanor about him that I saw with fat ass Zimmerman. Even when he's over there supposedly writing, you can tell he doesn't even know what to write on the paper. So they just told him to hold the pen and look like you're writing. Remember, I watch. I've not seen him look like he's writing a single sentence. He's doodling at the very least. There's times when I saw him just holding the pen to the paper and no movement at all. I saw this with my own eyes. Again, there must be consequence, everybody. African people have got to start articulating a consequence that is swift and firm, that leaves a mark, that sends a very clear message: they're over us fucking with them. And when we do, there will be a very, very harsh consequence, but assuredly a consequence. In Wisconsin, 18 to 20 jurors are initially picked to sit on trial. Following closing arguments, the extra jurors are removed before deliberation to establish a 12-person jury. It is rare, however, that the defendant themselves, in this case the fat-ass Rittenhouse, is given agency over their fate by randomly plucking out the dismissed jurors. And we're supposed to believe that it was random, everybody, that he didn't know them. Oh, I'll just close my eyes and just whatever numbers come out. I don't know what will happen. Ooh, I don't know. Who believes that? You believe that? I got 2 twin towers in Lower Manhattan that are in pristine condition. They're perfect. You don't need to see them. Just they're for sale and you can buy them. No, you don't need to look at them. They're there. By randomly picking the dismissed jurors' numbers out of or over their fate, dismissed jurors, members out of the tumbler. He did so before the jury began deliberating on Monday. On Wednesday, this fake ass judge defended the controversial decision, citing the reports of, quote, how bizarre and unusual it was to have a defendant pick the numbers out of the tumbler, end quote, while admitting that he doesn't know that there's a large number of courts. While admitting that he doesn't know that there are a large number of courts to do that, maybe not any. You see? I can't, dude. I can't. The lying devil explained that over the past 20 years, he has allowed defendants to narrow down the jury pool. He mentioned a case in Racine, Wisconsin, in which a black defendant, why did they cite a black defendant? Because remember, I've not read this. You saw me pick it. And what have I already been bitching? This is meant to be a slap in our face, even though nobody black was even involved. But alas, we were, because remember, all this rioting and protesting was over the attempted murder of Jacob Blake. You see? And no black person would be able to do this. So what do? They go inside a black case. He mentioned a case in Racine, Wisconsin, in which a black defendant had a 13-person jury pool, including only one black juror, which was an improper jury. If you got a black defendant and only one damn black juror, that's a problem. White people are not capable of sitting in judgment of anybody, certainly, and most importantly, and most significantly, not African people. They do not have the capability or the propensity for fairness, and they are not interested, nor do they have the capability of righteousness. And this was an 18-person jury for this fat-ass Rittenhouse. This one they're citing now was just a 13-person jury. Oh, just 13. The black juror was dismissed. After their number was pulled by the court clerk. So, not the defendant. So, the black defendant in that case, he's citing in a case in which a black defendant had a 13-person jury, including only one black juror, period. But he's mentioning a case in this person, and I just read that. All right. The black juror was dismissed after the number was pulled by the court clerk, not the defendant, who customarily is. So out of all the people, so they randomly, you got a black defendant with a jury that's 13 people that only has one black person, and we're to believe that just randomly, just so happens that just the black person's number is the one that was pulled, and they were dismissed, and they ended up with an all-white jury. These people are the devil, you understand? The devil, not human, not human, not human, devil. Move on, Jedi, you're running out of time. The black juror was dismissed after the no doubt the white clerk dismissed them, who customarily is tasked with pulling the numbers from the tumbler. So we know her white ass got rid of the black juror on purpose. Because what are the odds? Following that trial, the lying fake ass judge began allowing the defendants to pull the numbers themselves. You see? But this black juror wasn't able to pull it himself. You see? Quote, what do they talk about optics nowadays? What do they talk about optics nowadays? Is that the word for things? The Peckerwood said of the Racine trial, the one he just cited. That was a bad optic, I thought. I think people feel better when they have control, even so, we're so concerned about them feeling good so I need to feel good when I'm on trial for murder, everybody. You know, they need to bring me in like a case of Sauvignon. I want caviar, and maybe they could just have, Beethoven's Fifth playing in the background. And I'm probably going to need some incense burning too, and a candle, because I have to feel comfortable and in control. I am getting worked up. Ever since that case, I had an almost universal policy of having the defendant pull the numbers. It had nothing to do with anybody's race. I've never had a complaint about it before. This is a scratched pablum puking vomit of white people. It has nothing to do with race when it's absolutely about race. So I go in to rob a bank. I go, this has nothing to do, this is not anything of me robbing the bank. That's exactly how they do. This has nothing to do with me robbing the bank. I'm just holding a gun and I have a ski mask and I'm demanding money. That does not mean I'm robbing the bank. Wow. Is this a clip? All right, let's hear it. It may save us some time so we can hear his pablum puking mouth. Say it. Wait. Just a second. Let me pause y'all. All right, let's see if we can get to play now. Play, bitch.
And then finally, I am now reading about how bizarre and unusual it was to have the defendant pick the numbers out of the tumbler yesterday. And I would admit that I don't know that there's a large number of courts that do that, maybe not any. I do it because of an incident that I had in a case I tried in Racine. Oh, I'm going to say I estimated 20 years ago it could have been less than that. It could have been more. But it was a big case. I think it was a murder case, but I'm not sure. And there was a black defendant, and there were 13 jurors, one of whom was black. And when the government official, drew the name out of the tumbler, it was a black, the only black. There was nothing wrong with it. It was all okay. But what do they talk about? Optics nowadays? Is that the word for things? That was a bad optic, I thought. I think people feel better when they have control. So ever since that case, I have, ever since that case, I've had an almost universal policy of having the defendant do the picks, whether it had nothing to do with anybody's race or anything like that. And I never had a complaint about it before. In fact, I haven't had a complaint about it here.
Because that trial, I'm sure, was not televised. And humanity didn't know about it until just right now in this case. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say we're not here for any laws and rules that these motherfuckers write and try and decree. You understand? We do what the fuck we want because they only put the shit down for everybody else. And even when he cited the case, there was no need to, he could have just mentioned the circumstances. He did not have to mention the race of the juror or the defendant. This is meant to be an attack on us, everybody. This whole thing has been that. And they're setting you up for not guilty. Now, we really shouldn't give a fuck because it wasn't one of us that was shot by this fucker. You know. So, do we really care? I'll leave that up for your review. But we still have a stake in the principle. Because the treatment. This is the same country that when you had the move, what was the brother's name? Something Africa, John Africa. They had him bound and gagged in a chair with tape around his mouth and everything. And he was chained to the chair and all. I mean, you know, just all the evil shit they've done and continue to do. I have no like or respect for these people at all, man, woman, or unborn goddamn child. Let me be clear. This is bullshit. Wow. Despite this liar's almost universal policy, a Wisconsin district attorney who tried a high-profile murder case in front of this asshole in 2008 said the court clerk and not his client picked the jury numbers, which is what I speculated. Oh no, they said the court clerk did it. And you know the bitch did it on purpose. Just random. One black defendant and one black juror. Oh, we just randomly picked. Oh my God, look, it just turns out the black juror is the one that we picked. Ooh, what a coincidence. We had no idea. You do that shit in Vegas, security is coming to you. They don't want to hear anything. They don't want to hear it. You would have had a better chance of being struck by lightning while being hit by a meteorite at the same time while during an earthquake. That's what that is that they want us to believe. Damn it, I wish I was live. Still, Milwaukee-based defense attorney Tom Grieve told the Associated Press, quote, "I don't really care. The point is they have some system to arrive at 12 jurors. It's certainly unusual, but I don't see anything wrong with it." You know, because again, the defendant is white, but if he was black, then it would be a federal case and I would hate it. But because he's white and so am I don't see anything unusual about it. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. The jury for this lard-ass trial continued their deliberation on Wednesday. Yeah, I'm over it, dude. I'm over it. The fix is in, everybody. Know that the Jedi said it. Know that I said it. And just so that I'm clear, we're going to get a hung jury or it's going to be a flat out not guilty. Watch. 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 One more maybe. If time permits, we're at 27 minutes. Pushing it, Jedi, pushing it. Let me also randomly shout out Madame Ree. Loved your comment on the Travis Scott video. Won't get into the details because I'm running out of time, but loved your thoughtful comment. And you're 100% right. And I love that you added the caveat, or I think you added the caveat that, you know, and because I was really speaking in terms of from control, I didn't go back to the rest of my wife's career, but you're 100% right. So well done, Queen. Well done. There was somebody else I needed to shout out. Andrea Smith, shout out to you. I love you. Light Bearer, shout out to you, Queen. It's always good to see you. Yoda, shout out to you. But I want to use the last couple minutes because I think I probably literally have 2 minutes. That's 8 hours ago. That's U.S. News. We'll click on it. It's 8 hours ago. Let's do that. There's the peacock. Again, don't want to insult nature. So there's the demon. Kyle Fatass played a direct role in choosing, albeit randomly, the final 12 jurors who are deciding his innocence or guilt in the murder trial over his killing 2 protesters and wounding a 3rd last summer. And by the way, I wonder if the jurors are aware of that he picked them. Like, were they privy to that? Did they know that? Were they in the room? Do they have knowledge of that? I want to know that. I want to know that. I'd like to see what the process was. Did they show that? You know, how long is this? We're not going to be able to get through it. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get through this. We don't have enough time. Unless I'm going to upload this to my computer and join the parts. Damn it, it might be worth it. No, I'm going to save it for the live, everybody, because I need to be on camera too, because I need to be expressive. And speaking from behind the veil, I can't be, you know. But we'll just read this opening. The fat ass played a direct role in choosing, albeit randomly, the final 12 jurors who are deciding whether or not his bitch ass should go to jail over the murder of 2 protesters and wounding a third last summer. Yeah, at the direction of the peacock fake ass judge, the fat ass's attorneys placed a slip of paper into the tumbler. So his attorneys did that with numbers of each 18 jurors on it, who sat through the 2-week trial. The drum had been sitting on a window ledge throughout the trial, but was placed in front of the fat ass murderer at the defense table. While with the jury watching, there's the answer to it. With the jury watching, the fat ass then selected 6 pieces of paper from the drum, each bearing a number that corresponded to a juror. A court official then read out loud the number of the jurors being dismissed: 11, 58, 14, 45, and so on. The names of the jurors have not been made public. I think that's a place to stop. The dismissed jurors aren't among the final 12 deliberating, but they are required to remain in the courthouse at the request of the defense until the jury returns with a verdict. We're going to talk more about this in the live stream, everybody, but I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Is this some bullshit, as I proclaim? It's the double fucking standard, dude. It's the double standard. And until we get fire in our belly and articulate that with our hands, we will get absolutely no respects. This is the Jedi.